This is the Angry GM. Welcome to the Angry GM plays an entirely new game. No more Sonic the Hedgehog for us. We have moved on to one of my favorite games and a game that I know intimately. Actually, two of my favorite games, which we'll be playing in order. That's inFamous and inFamous 2. Both came out, they were PlayStation exclusives. The first came out in 2009. And I want to say the second one was 2011, 2012. I'll confirm that before we get started with it. The reason that I'm doing both of them, because if you do one, you have to do both, is that if I had to make a choice, I would choose the second one as the one that I would stream and show off, because the second one is really an amazing game, and it took everything good that the first game did, and built on that, and took the few rough edges in the first game, and sort of, shaved them down and made them work. And there's going to be a lot to talk about there. But the reason that I need to play them both is because they are a rare set of video games, the game and its sequel, that were pretty much from the outset designed not to start a franchise. They were written to start and end. And at some point we'll talk about why Sucker Punch Studios made that decision. But I think it absolutely makes the game much more powerful because you have an actual narrative from beginning to end with a satisfying conclusion and character arcs where the characters actually grow and develop and you come to like them or hate them in some cases. So we'll talk about all of that as time goes on, but just understand that we're in it for the long haul now. We're doing both of them. This is the opening screen for inFamous. When you first put the disc in, the first time you play it, this is what you are greeted with. And in a second, I'm going to hit the start button and let the intro play because I find this intro to be very powerful. It actually, this is going to sound a little quirky, but it actually does give me a little bit of a chill when I watch the intro just for the way it goes into the game. So you start on this nice pastoral cityscape and then you hit the start button and then I'm going to show up and I'll come back when gameplay starts.
Activation plus 6 minutes. Pulse is 45. Respiration 10. Looking good, Cole.
The hell happened? Oh, God.
Right? Now, that is how you do a freaking opening right there. And the framing of that shot with Cole standing on the elevated center of the crater kind of leaves no doubt in your mind that he was sort of the cause of it. I mean, that's not really a spoiler. They're trying to set that up right now, that he was at the center of whatever just happened.
Come on, Cole. Move. Move.
Now, because I have a tendency to talk, I'm going to go ahead and turn on the subtitles. Okay. And now, of course, we get into our tutorial. Ooh, I got to invert the camera controls also. All right, nope, not vertical, just horizontal. This is like the biggest pet peeve of mine, by the way. For God's sake, can we come up with some standard terminology so that I know what inverted and normal means? So that every time I start a game, I don't have to play the game of, let's jiggle the right stick to see what it's going to do to the controls. Now, you have a very clearly marked out path, and they just want to get you comfortable with moving here. I'm not sure. I think if you can't even walk off the path. They keep the invisible walls up. This is just teaching you how to move around.
Cole, man, you there? Come on, man, pick up!
Zeke. What the hell's going on? I think there was an explosion.
No shit, there was an explosion. TV says terrorists are blowing stuff up all over the city. Meet me at the Fremont Bridge. We'll get Trish and find some place to hunker down.
I'll see you there.
The gameplay for inFamous, and I'm trying to take it a little slow here because there's going to be a lot to talk about. But the gameplay for inFamous is kind of a mix of parkour platforming and third-person shooting.
What the hell? Should be dead.
And so this section is really effectively just trying to get used to moving around. Cole is very responsive. The controls are extremely responsive, which that's a hallmark of Sucker Punch. They I guess we'll talk about the development later on, but so they're trying to get you used to the distance that Cole can cover with a jump. Also the fact that the game does do some correction for you. If your jump is not 100% on, it will connect for you. You know, not like it won't do it to take the challenge away, but yeah, but it does sort of, as you're going to see, it's very necessary that the control scheme for this game was extremely tight. Actually, this little cutscene thing happening here, I realize that it's very dramatic and all of that, and nobody knows what's happening, but I like how the cops just stand around until they get struck by lightning. They're not, like, running or panicking or anything else. And even the graphic design here of the bridge lays out a very clear path for you to follow. The game just wants you to get used to moving Cole around. What?
While sliding into unconsciousness, I could somehow, I don't know, hear the voices of the dying. Thousands crushed by falling buildings or burned alive in the fires. Trish lost her sister, almost lost me. Zeke was always there, somehow sure that I'd wake up, while outside the city fell apart. A plague struck, followed by rioting, theft, rapes, civilization committing suicide. In a bullshit attempt to contain the biological threat, the federal government locked down all access in and out of the city. Now we're stuck in this cage with the psychos. Cops are all but gone off the streets, either dead or too chicken shit to stand against the gangs that control things now. Outside, things were bad. But inside me, something was beginning. Scary as hell at first. Gotta understand, there was no one to talk to, no experts to consult. But with time, I'm learning to control it, master it. Just hope it's not too late. I thought you were gonna watch TV.
Batteries are dead again. You mind putting on a freak show?
Sure. Glad it's good for something.
Probably need to charge them all. TV's a hog.
Okay, so this introduces us to the main combat mechanic of the game. Cole has the power to shoot lightning out of his hands. Aiming and targeting. The targeting is actually way more precise than you might first expect. As you'll see in like the second mission, I think I'll show off how precise the aiming actually gets. But I also like the design of their little rooftop hovel here. Because, like, they've got all these makeshift batteries around, but they've also got the combat dummies around. And the mere fact that they have them here, implies that, you know, Cole has been playing around with his powers, trying to figure out how they work, and his buddy Zeke has been helping him.
Boob tubes are working.
Weird. It feels like I got more power.
Yeah? Try frying those dummies over there. With all the nutballs running around, it'd be nice to see how much juice you're packing. Lay into it, man.
And this very much has a shooter mechanic to it. Right up to the, you know, headshots are, you know, if you make headshots, they're better for you. And then as time goes on, you do develop other powers. I mean, without giving too much away, you get all the standard tropes of a shooter. You know, you get your grenades, you get your rocket launchers, and everything else.
Flying so low, thought it was gonna crash into us.
And then, obviously, this...
I love this guy.
Just got word that the feds dropped some relief packages into Archer Square. The liars running the corporate media tell us that we're gonna get our fair share, that more is coming. Yeah, that's easy for them to say. They're not the ones living in this hellhole. And the truth is that we've been abandoned, and no one's coming to save us. So head over to Archer Square and get that food before the Reapers show up. Voice of Survival, out.
So that's the Voice of Survival, and that's one of the two ways that of sort of communicating what's going on in the larger story. Obviously, right now we're doing a lot to just establish characters.
You take the stairs.
You know.
I'm using the express elevator.
Oh, man, get to have all
And the thing is with
That's what I'm talking about.
actually, hold on a sec.
Hell of a jump, man. I wish I could do something like that. Running down all those stairs. Yeah, that sucks donkey balls. Hey, Cole, before we head over to Archer, I need to go pick up a new six-shooter.
Oh, here we go.
That was badass. The second you touched it, the electricity in your hands cooks off the gunpowder.
I'm gonna go ahead and talk over them here because you can read the subtitles because they spend a lot of time here characterizing Zeke and Cole and their relationship, and it might seem like this sort of wasted effort, but the most interesting thing I think about the story of inFamous, and by which I mean both games, especially in the second game, is the fact that this story is in the end and in its heart, it's about two best friends, who kind of get these distances like dropped between them, and then because of circumstances in the you know, obviously lightning powers, terrorist attacks, bombs, quarantines, that whole thing, you know, that puts a strain on their relationship, and you'll see just how much of a strain it does, to the point where their friendship becomes a really important running arc through both games. And it's something that you rarely see in an action game like this.
Yeah, not unless some fancy car that doesn't explode when I sit in it.
The other thing, too, is that their dialogue is starting to talk about some of the obstacles that Cole is facing. It's kind of establishing things like why he can't drive, why he can't use guns, why he can't touch water, why there are certain surfaces he can't climb on, all because of his electricity powers. And then they're introducing us to a new power, his shockwave. This is a nice stunning attack, It'll throw enemies aside, but it'll also move physics objects around. And there's the gun that Zeke's buddy left for him.
Yeah, me neither. There was the surge.
Hey man, you don't look so hot.
And now we get introduced to the health and mana mechanic, which is pretty neat. So, as you use your powers, you drain your electricity, which you can see as those black circles in the upper left. When you use them all, you can just throw your basic lightning, but nothing else. However, you can go searching for sources of electricity to drain. You send out this little pulse, and like this fuse box,
Did you see that?
we can drain it. Whoops. And that car, and sorry, Zeke.
I can feel the electricity surging through me. Almost like I'm being healed by it.
Now the same thing too, like, although the game has regenerating health like most standard action shooters of the era, of the modern era, if you drain electricity, you'll also heal any injuries that you have quicker.
Alright, I guess. Powers are all over the place. Used to be I could barely power a light bulb. Now I'm jumping off of buildings, frying the junk on Zeke's roof.
You jumped off a building. What were you thinking?
Relax. I'm fine.
Just take it easy. After what happened to Amy, I couldn't...
Yeah,
See you guys at Archer Square. I love you.
you too.
See, now Trish is actually also an interesting character who has kind of a big role to play later on. And you start to think that she's being set up as the standard action game love interest, but you see pretty quickly that whole thing kind of falls apart, and they at least play games with that idea. So again, you know, the story is very human for a comic book story about a guy who could shoot lightning out of his face. There's a very human story inside all of this.
Hey, you're the only guy here who'd live from a fall like that. You gotta climb up there and knock that stuff free.
Okay, so the feds dropped a food shipment to the quarantined city, and you've got to climb up and get it down. This is sort of introducing... No, don't worry, I got it. This introduces you to... Whoops. To Cole's parkour mechanic. I haven't played this in a long time. It takes a little getting used to the sort of jumping from handhold to handhold mechanic. Cole's a little slow. He does get bogged down when he's climbing, but it is otherwise pretty smooth, and the game is pretty good at intuiting what you're trying to do when you hit the controls in a certain direction. Alright, and then you can also destroy rusted objects. And this is all still the tutorial crap, so...
That's when I caught my first sight. The Reapers. Before the blast, they were just a bunch of junkies dealing drugs. Now, they own the Neon District. Taking whatever they want. That changes today.
And now it's time for a combat tutorial. So Cole, as one of his basic powers, has this shockwave attack, a big area attack that will knock out enemies. Beyond that, a lot of the gameplay is actually cover-based shooting. You can take cover. Again, it feels very smooth. And you can see that using the shockwave there, you can stun enemies. Sorry, it's going to take me a little bit to get my sea legs back. Another thing you could do is that pulse that lets you detect electrical objects will also highlight enemies in red if you're having a hard time seeing them. The little bits of destructible scenery are nice. Uh-oh. And we got more coming in. And you do have a mini-map in the lower left that shows you what's going on. Whoa, 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 whoa. If you take a few too many hits, you can go ahead and drain electricity. That guy just ran right in front of my hand. Alright. And that's combat.
A lot of food here. Enough to feed the three of us.
Shazpa is saying, man, I'm into this. Yeah, you ain't seen nothing yet. Alright, and here it is. Here comes the elephant in the room.
Some of these guys might starve.
Okay, so periodically throughout the game, you will be presented with what they call these karma moments. Because games were obsessed with the moral choice system.
Let's eat.
So here we have the first moral choice system of Cole could keep all of the food for himself and his friends by frying people and scaring them away, or he could let other people have the food. Okay? Now, I'm not going to defend the moral choice system in this game, because it is like all moral choice systems, stupid. But what they did with it in the second game was fantastic, because they realized that they were stuck with it.
Now who the hell want to eat this crap?
Now, one of the things I do like about the moral choice system... Whoops.
Hey, Cole! You're up on the big screen!
Our city, our lives. Someone from your family died? Well, now you know who to blame. If you know anything about this guy, let me know. Because we're going to get the word out on this terrorist. Whoever he is, we're going to make him pay.
Okay, I stopped talking because for whatever reason the Voice of Survival's subtitles doesn't get
All
subtitled.
I remember from that day is going to work and then running for my life. That video, though. How'd I get that package? Why would I deliver a bomb? For who? Regardless, the consequences are everywhere. Whatever there'd been between Trish and me was gone. She didn't say a word. No emotion, nothing, just walked away. By then, people nearby were starting to recognize me. It was gonna get ugly. Even Zeke was giving me weird looks. He and I made quick plans to meet up at Stampton Bridge. Try to get out of town. Just hope he shows. Because right now, I'm a little short on friends.
Alright, so the game is actually split up into missions. And what we did was the first mission. You'll see more of the mission structure later, because it's very much wide open sandbox. But notice, now this introduces the fact that if you piss off the citizens, they will retaliate against you. They'll throw rocks at you. They'll punch you. They'll curse at you. They'll give you the finger, and generally they'll dislike you.
Listen, man. I'm almost to the bridge. Since everyone here hates your guts, we gotta get out of town. Pronto-like.
I'll meet you there. And Zeke, thanks for watching my back.
Sure, man. I ain't about to do anything that might piss you off. See ya.
Now see, that little line is very interesting, coming as it did after all that stuff about, remember the good old days when we were pissing on cops and doing all that stuff? And the voice acting there was really solid, because whoop, I'm going the wrong direction, aren't I? Yeah, I'm supposed to be heading down this way. So, the tone in Zeke's voice, that nervous sort of fear of Cole tone, is actually kind of interesting. It already starts to show how what's going on is affecting their friendship. And like I said, Cole is a little slow to climb, but it is actually much easier and safer most of the time to travel by rooftop. Especially if the citizens are pissed off at you. Now, so let's talk about the moral choice system while I do run across the city. First of all, it's your standard video game black and white moral choice system. Sort of. The majority of it is every so often, you know, something will come up in the game and it'll ask you, hey, do you want to do the nice thing or do you want to do the dickbag thing? And then you could choose to be Cole McNice or Cole McDickbag. One or the other. Okay? Some of the but it did at least... I'm a little hung up there. Okay. Okay. I'm having trouble here. I used to be so much better at the traversal. But what it does do kind of nicely, I think, is that the choices aren't just delivered in dialogue boxes, as you'll see. Like, even that first choice, that was a gameplay choice. Like, you had a... Really? How did you get up here? Alright, I don't know if you caught that, but pay attention as I'm fighting the Reapers. You might have noticed that he threw up this black substance as I fought him, which is some pretty cool foreshadowing. Anywho, so you know, Cole McNice, Cole McJerk, and those are your choices. And when you make your game that way, and obviously, you know, with a video game, there's only so much you can do with freedom of choice. Whoa. I was talking to my friends. I hit the wrong button there. Oh, what? Uh-oh. Ha ha! I actually got distracted and got killed. Actually, there's a weird little foible of the controls where if you are holding the aim button while you're in a jump, and then go into it, and then come out of the jump, like now I'm holding the aim button, it will not resume aiming. And I was trying to throw off attacks and not realizing that I wasn't aiming, and that's why I was only jumping. So, anywho, yeah, I'm right. I'm blaming the controls. The controls that I said are really good. That's okay. That's the only mistake I'm going to make. Anywho, okay. So the overall effect of these black and white, you know, one way or the other moral choice systems is either you have a game where the moral choice systems are mostly fake-outs, where, you know, they change one or two lines of dialogue or which character is present there in most scenes, or in some scenes, or they lead to the same place no matter what, and they're just there for your edification. And I'm going to go ahead and call that the Mass Effect system, because a lot of the dialogue moral choices in Mass Effect were of that variety, where at the end of the day, they didn't have any big effect on the game. They were just so that you could, you know, make a choice and feel good about that choice or bad about that choice or whatever. The other system, which is what... And that's sort of the system that this first inFamous game goes with. Sort of.
Fastest way out of town. That is, if you can get us past those baton-wielding goons.
We're getting out of here, one way or another. Follow my lead.
You know, and occasionally, you'll get the moral choices that will give you a different bonus mission, or not give you a different bonus mission, or let you unlock certain things, or, you know, you can be charming or intimidating, the Paragon or Renegade skill tree.
Gonna have to get past those riot cops if we want out of here. If I fry a couple of the guards from inside the crowd, but I can trigger a riot, help keep the heat off Zeke and me. Of course, that means a lot of innocent people will get the hell kicked out of them.
Now, this is actually an example of a better moral choice, because obviously it affects gameplay. Because then the citizens become targets of the cops, and you don't have to fight. There we go. I'm having a little bit of trouble remembering what button is what. And the other nice thing... Whoa. I think Zeke was in that crowd, wasn't he? Yeah. Yeah, he was. So now we're going to try and run the blockade, get out of the city, and be done with this game. And I'm going to take these citizens with me. That's it. Quarantine over. Let's get the hell out.
Keep it up, brother. We got him on the run.
The other moral choice system is the moral choice system where... Whoop. Oh, damn it. I'm sorry, Zeke. Is the moral choice system where you effectively have two different stories or two different games. Guys, clear my... Oh, you idiots! See, and this is part of where you actually do have more precise aiming than you realize, because you can actually shoot between the shielding on the turret guns there. The other thing you can do that was kind of foreshadowed is that you can actually disable the turrets, which in later missions will come in handy, because enemies will man turrets that have been abandoned. The AI of the citizens in the town has been programmed to do... Whoa, shit. Has been... Oh, where did you come from, asshole? Alright. Seriously, I used to be better at this. I'm not paying attention. I was trying to talk. Yeah, see what I mean? You can actually target right between the... Damn it, what is going on with me? Alright, you guys have lost all faith in me. See, that's the problem, is I'm not paying attention to my mini-map. Okay, see now how that guy he just, like, tried to reclaim the turret? And meanwhile, there's a guy... Okay, and there's a turret over there. So we'll go take cover here. Whoop. Ah, damn it. Alright, and we'll drain some electricity from this thing. I also didn't point it out, but Cole has a little bit of a melee combo. It's, Hey, O-Dog, go to hell! O-Dog just said that implies we had faith in you to begin with. I'd like to remind you I beat Sonic 2006.
Hey, man, hang from the top of that container. Try shooting him. They'll make you...
This area is under strict quarantine. Indiscriminate lethal force will be used against all unauthorized personnel. This is your final warning.
We got a... What do we got, a turret gun over there? This is very much not a run and gun. This is... You kind of want to take advancing a little bit slower than you might in other action shooter games. And like I said, the precision on the hitboxes is really good, because you can... The shielding on the turrets is very clearly defined. The hit locations on the guards very clearly defined. So you can get very good at sniping from the hip, as it were. Though, as you can expect, because we are playing a shooter, you also eventually do get the sort of sniper rifle power. Whoa. I do like how quickly they zip around when they're using the turret. Like, whoop, now we're here, now we're there. Alright. Alright, so I'm gonna let this scene play out.
Hey, man! Head for the quarantine station! It's our ticket out of here!
The gate opened to a wall of razor wire machine guns. Zeke made a break for it. Smashed in the gate to the decontamination.
Kokojo King is saying sniping power is the good guy power. Actually, it's both, but I think it's the good guy who gets some of the best level ups for it.
By name. This FBI agent, Moya, had seen the footage of me at Ground Zero and came here to wait, figuring I'd try to escape, knowing I'd have powers. She explained that before the blast, her husband John had been assigned to infiltrate the First Sons, a shadowy group working on a project they called the Ray Sphere, a device designed to...
Okay, watch this graphic carefully. On the edges of that circle, you'll see some people who glow red. That is actually really, really subtle foreshadowing.
Moya was losing hope, yet she'd found me, somehow believing I could be trusted. ready to make me an offer. I go back to the city, find John and the Ray Sphere, and she'll get me out of the quarantine and clear my name. This whole Ray Sphere thing sounds crazy to me. Suddenly I'm a human light socket, so maybe I should cut her some slack.
Because of the riot topside, this is the only way back into the city. Given the state of our new partnership, I've taken the liberty of cloning your phone's frequency. I've got a lock on your GPS locator, and I can hear every word you say.
And this is sort of a final test for if you've if you've learned everything from the tutorial, particularly about targeting. There's a little bit of combat, and there's a lot of platforming, because platforming and traversal are actually big parts of this game. And I would say they're actually bigger than the combat portions, though there are people who would disagree with me. So this is sort of your final exam for the first series of missions. Because again, this game does have an excellent tutorial progression. And we can, you can also, I don't know if you can see it, but right in my crosshair there is a little propane tank there. You can use the environment to help you take down enemies. And I guess at some point I'll discuss the stunt system. But there is a little bit of a graphical flaw there where the water is just a surface that the dead guys will fall on. But what you gonna do? Can't have everything. Where would you put it? Shazba is asking, do you stick to the pipes or can you walk off? No, you do stick to surfaces. So Cole won't simply wander off. He's not Mario. And also, like I said, there is some stickiness in Cole's... like, in Cole's jumping and other movement abilities, so that you don't have to be 100% precise.
The water pressure has dropped in the main running under the bridge. What's going on down there?
Reapers were busting up some pipes.
Interesting. I'll see what I can find out. You worry about getting back into the city.
Come on. Now, you can see those Reapers there, but there's actually sort of an effective range on your lightning bolt, where it just won't have any effect beyond that. And you kind of have to get used to that, because you can target things from a lot farther away. Oh, and also now these pipes start crumbling when you land on them. It's kind of forcing you to move quickly. Ah! Oh, I guess you guys can see me now, huh? And actually, for some, a real pain in the ass, is that often the enemy's effective range is longer than yours.
Find John and the Ray Sphere, and I get you out of there. No questions asked. But you double-cross me or do something stupid, and I will throw you into a hole so deep that you won't even know which way is up. Got it?
Yeah, I got it.
Also very nicely... Whoa, shit! I actually overjumped there. Very nicely, if you miss the jump and end up grabbing the pipe, it will not start to collapse. Really? That was the worst performance I've ever given. But apparently the game is impressed with me. Alright, fine. We'll stick it on hard mode and see how this goes.
Cole? Oh, man, it's good to see you.
Yeah, nice work on that gate, Wrecking Ball.
Hell, live through the fall, no problem. But, getting back to shore? Well, let's just say I'm no Michael Phelps.
Yeah, that's an understatement.
Hey, take it easy, Lightning Rod. So, how the hell'd you live through that, man? Bullets flying everywhere, all over the place? Figured you were a goner.
Let's head home. I'll fill you in on the way.
You can tell it's a deep game because it's got a meaningful quote.
It drains neuroelectric energy.
Oh, I knew it! All the stuff I've been saying, every word is true. Government's in cahoots with a secret organization, the Ray Sphere. Damn, it all makes sense now.
Calm down. You're gonna hurt yourself.
That ray sphere must dish out powers to anyone controlling it. You gotta bring it back here.
Sure. I could use a sidekick.
Ah, hell with that. Zeke Jedediah Dunbar is his own man.
Your middle name is Jedediah?
Yes, it is. After my grandfather. Strong man for a man his size. I don't know where Zeke comes from, but I'm certain...
You need to take a nap and a bath. I got things to do.
Okay, so now we're actually in the game proper here.
I've got a couple of leads for you. The coordinates have been uploaded into your phone. Give me a call when you're in position.
Oh, wait. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Experience points. Alright, so once you've earned experience points, you can spend them on all sorts of things. I'm going to go ahead and take the reduced damage right off the bat, because I seem to be taking more hits than I usually do. And we'll go ahead and upgrade my lightning so that it recharges or it recharges a little bit of my electricity each time I hit. Okay, as you can see, the powers that you have run across the top there, and you can level them up. Some of the powers are divided up between good upgrades and evil upgrades, and some of them are locked out to certain levels of good. I mean, I guess, okay. So, first and foremost, the main structure of the game is it is an open sandbox. So when you're between missions, you can start missions. Blue missions are story missions, the yellow missions are side missions. So we'll go hit up mysterious signals first. You know, but it actually does some neat things for a sandbox, too, which will become clear in time. Also, as the game sort of foreshadowed, scattered throughout the city are these collectibles called blast shards. They are pieces of charged rubble that were thrown up in the original ray sphere explosion. And if Cole collects enough of them, he gets another little electrical sphere on his charge meter.
Alright, now what?
I'm picking up some weird interference from a rooftop not far from you. Need to find out its origin and purpose.
So what am I looking for?
Not really sure. Probably a transmitter of some type. Call me when you get over there.
And these story missions, they lead us into the main story of the game, which right now is Cole has been co-opted by this FBI agent named Moya to track down another agent named John, who had been infiltrating an organization called the First Sons, who had built the Ray Sphere, which was a device designed to drain energy from living people, transferring them to the host who activated the Ray Sphere, thus giving him superpowers.
Found it. Looks like a portable audio drive is attached to this satellite dish.
See if you can listen to it with your phone.
Sounds like a bunch of garbage.
It's an encrypted message, but I can't break it. Look around and see if you can find another one.
Okay, now this mission is actually an introduction to another optional scavenger hunt. Collecting these audio logs allows you to reveal more of the story of the game. And if you look at the mini-map, each time I pulse my electricity, I get these little circular gray bars that kind of narrow in on a target to tell me if there's a nearby signal that I can go and collect. So this mission is actually just teaching me about that scavenger hunt mechanic. Damn it. This friggin' snipers on every damn rooftop. Oh, wait, maybe I could show you something cool if I can get the guy to walk over here. I might get killed doing this, but... Right, come on over here. Come on over here. Over, closer, closer, closer. I want to get him to step in the puddle. Come on. I'll show it off eventually. Oh. When a human being steps in a puddle that Cole is standing in, they get electrocuted. Meanwhile, we keep pulsing our electricity to triangulate the next dead drop signal, which should be right at the top of this building. And as you get close to it, you can see that the little pulses narrow into a cone. I guess I also got to talk about the stunt system at some point too, don't I? There's a lot of little systems in this game, which is... honestly, that's what makes this game cool. Okay? It could have gone with just a shooter type game or an action type game, but there's so many little odd bits and pieces to do, and even just traveling through the city, especially once you start to gain a few more traversal powers, traveling through the city is even a lot of fun. Hunting for the scavenger hunt items is a lot of fun. We can knock over those towers and cranes to help us make bridges. The stunt system is a lot of fun. Okay, so basically, different ways that you take down the enemies. If you look in the upper left, you gain experience points each time you take down an enemy. But the different ways that you might take down an enemy give you different numbers of give you different experience points. And there's also a little sort of a mini game in doing all of the different neat stunts and combos that the game has to offer. So, like, if I kill an enemy by knocking him off a rooftop, that's what's called a high fall stunt. Oh, and now they're introducing a new enemy, the Reapers with the plastic riot shields, which, of course, are non-conductors, and therefore I cannot shoot through them. Okay, and there's... and also, like I said, you can use your electrical pulse to kind of light up the enemies to see where they are. I mean, that's neat, too. I kind of like the whole... you know what? This is the best Spider-Man game since Spider-Man 2 on the PlayStation 2. To be totally honest. Between the fun of traversing the city and all the Spidey sense powers and everything else, it really is. Now, for right now, I'm kind of limited in how I can take care of the shield guys, because my electricity just sort of... it doesn't affect their shields. If you're really precise, you can get headshots around their shield. Like that. Oh, there's someone shooting at me from somewhere else, huh? This is what I get for trying to show things off. The other way to deal with them is to get close to... oh, what are you guys doing down here? Alright, see, that was a new stunt, the blast and bolt. If you knock someone into the air with your shockwave and then manage to bolt them before they hit the ground, that's a stunt. The other way to deal with the shields is to use the shockwave attack to just knock them out of the way. And then we can collect the third and final dead drop.
That's the last one.
Give me a second. Alright. That should do it. I'm uploading a decrypting algorithm into your phone. It should let you listen to the messages.
I couldn't stop Kessler from detonating the ray sphere. Damn thing took out 5 or 6 square blocks, killed God knows how many. Found the ray sphere in the blast crater next to some kid. Don't know if he was dead or not, didn't have time to check. I'm gonna try and hole up somewhere. If anyone is even listening to these things, I need immediate extraction. Please. Got to get me out of here before Kessler finds me.
You understand any of that?
I don't believe it. That's John. He must have used dead drops to communicate with his handlers.
English?
It means there are probably more of those scattered around the city. You should try and find as many as you can. They might tell us where he took the ray sphere.
Find John in the ray sphere, and I'm out, right?
I know the deal, Cole.
Just making sure.
Now, before... whoops. I think it wants to kick me out of the mission first. There we go. Okay. And notice at the end of each mission, it actually gives you a recap of all the stunts that you performed. Wait, he was well within my radius. Was it because I wasn't looking at him that he didn't get hit? Anyway, there were actually 3 dead drops that we picked up there. So, I'm going to go back and replay them in their proper order.
And she asked me a variety of questions, including whether or not I've ever exhibited extrasensory abilities. Told her I have dream-based ESP and involuntary telekinetic abilities. Jane seemed to mull this over for a while. Then she gave me an address. I was instructed to meet her there at midnight. No other details.
So these dead drops are the story of John, the FBI agent.
Delayed due to being incapacitated. Met Jane outside of an abandoned warehouse. She put a black bag over my head, then led me in. Counted 2,000 steps and 1 right-hand turn. She sat me in a chair, strapped down my arms and legs, and left me there.
And then, of course, the third one was the Kessler detonating the ray sphere. So those are the story of John infiltrating the First Sons, who are apparently a psychic-based organization who built the ray sphere. Anyway, alright, let's do one more mission. Let's do medical emergency, and then we're going to call it a night, I think. Because this is sort of... These first missions are all sort of unlocking the different mechanics of the game. So that you're sort of gradually exposed to them. And anyway, I want to take just another minute, because I'm going to come back to the moral choice system a lot. So in the upper left-hand corner, just to explain how it actually works, is you can see that red and blue half circle. And the big arrow, the big chevron pointing into it. Basically, by doing major good and bad deeds, you know, by fulfilling karmic events, you push that arrow into the 3 different sections. Either the 3 good sections, which are like Guardian, and then whatever and whatever. I can't remember the names of the things. Or you push it down into the negatives, into like the thug and villain and whatever. Once the arrow is in that section, the different actions you take in the game fill that little meter. So you can see how my blue meter has now started to fill up. It's just about full to the point where that arrow is. But that arrow is not pointing at how full the meter is. That arrow is pointing at which section of the meter is currently active. I have to do some really, really good stuff to kick myself into where I can even use the next section of the meter. Now, the things that do gain you karma, I guess, let me start a mission while we do this.
I just got a call from an EMT in your area. The Reapers have overrun his makeshift medical clinic, and he needs your help.
I can't solve all the world's problems, Moya.
Maybe not, but if you help him, he might return the favor.
As you play through the game, there are more and more actions that you can take during gameplay. Not big interruptions like, hey, this is a good and evil moment. Do you want to feed the starving people or strangle their kittens, kind of a thing. But there's a lot of little things you can do during the game, including things like not hurting civilians and capturing Reapers alive instead of killing them. Those things are not options now, but they become options shortly. And those things push your karma up and down so that you're actually... your gameplay actually affects it. So if you decide to be a good guy and keep making the good guy decisions, that's not enough to gain you the good karma. The good karma is that you have to behave in the game like a good guy. So if you start doing a lot of hurting innocent civilians, or doing those other things that are just classified as evil things, watch my karma meter a second. I'm gonna zap someone in the head. Whoop! Hey, get back here. Alright, I'm gonna shockwave a person. See how my karma meter lit up red? That was a little bit of bad karma that I earned because I hurt a citizen. Now, as time goes on, when you start gaining powers that have a pretty big area of effect, like your explosive stuff, your Like your grenades and your rockets that I sort of alluded to would be a possibility. When you start gaining that sort of stuff, if you want to actually pull off being a good guy, you've got to be careful about how you use it. You know, you can't simply willy-nilly just start lobbing grenades onto the street because you'll start killing off innocents. And there are some things that actually make the gameplay easier if you're a bad guy. So, in that respect, the moral choice system isn't completely terrible. That said, what it actually impacts in this game is almost nothing. Okay, actually I guess I can do another mission. What it actually affects, what it actually impacts in the game is pretty minor until you get to inFamous 2, where they realize that, you know what, we're stuck with this moral choice system anyway, and people are going to expect us to stick with it, so, we might as well just accept the fact that we're writing two different games. We're writing a good game and we're writing an evil game. So, let's go ahead and just make two completely different games with two completely differently well-developed stories, and that's ultimately what they ended up doing. So now we're going to go ahead and do this side mission, which is satellite uplinks. And this is a side mission that happens repeatedly throughout the game. Okay.
There are people out there who can offer some help, but I can't locate them. If you reactivate the satellite uplinks, I'll be able to track them down and mark them.
Oh shit! I'm sorry, I forgot about the puddle thing! Damn it. See, this is what I'm talking about. Bad karma. You get a little careless, you step through a puddle, you electrocute some people. Whoops. I'm sure they're fine. Oh, and hey, there's a dead drop right there. Since we're here anyway, we might as well collect it.
Don't know how long I sat strapped to that chair. At least a couple of hours. Finally, the bag was removed, and this brute of a man stood in front of me. Had to be 7 feet tall and 400 pounds. He told me that he was going to beat me, and if I wanted him to stop, I'd have to do it mentally, with my mind. Then he punched me in the face.
As opposed to mentally with my spleen. I'm sure glad he clarified what mentally means.
Of its electricity, which will reset it.
Where is... There's supposedly a Reaper. Oh, you sneaky bastard. Okay, so Cole is trying to get the basically the cell phone network back online, and just like in real life, the way this works is that you have to completely power down one of the satellite uplinks, which is basically a searchlight, and then you have to zap all the other ones by running past them within a certain amount of time so that they resynchronize. And it like if you check the Verizon website, they will tell you that this is exactly how you have to do this. So this is sort of a parkour challenge, and as you gain more traversal powers, they become better and better. And each one is sort of designed to test the parkour powers that you have at that point in the game. So after you earn a thing like hovering, you kind of have to hover to pull off the satellite uplink game. The reward for the satellite uplink thing, well, I guess it'll... Okay, so I raced past all the satellite uplinks. Once you, obviously, for doing a side mission, you get 100 experience points, you get XP. But you also have this mechanic of reclaiming the city. And reclaiming the city means that enemies will not spawn in that neighborhood of the city, which makes it easier to travel between the different places in the city. That becomes a safe location. Enemies will still run into that area from outside of it, but that area is now safe from Reapers. At least, now it's Reapers. The other thing that doing the satellite uplink mission does is because it re-enables the cell phone network, now suddenly you can see all of these side missions that you can do, including ones that are only available for good characters, which are marked in blue and yellow, and the side missions that are only available for evil characters. And by doing those particular side missions, if you have the right karma, you can unlock different karmic abilities. Anyway, that's where I'm going to leave it for the night here. Whoa. Oh wait, hold on. The news. The news is on.
Large-scale relief efforts across Empire City continued as FEMA delivered several tons of food, medicine, and other essential supplies into Archer Square. Officials tell US TV that relief efforts will continue around the clock for the foreseeable future. Some observers are already comparing the scale of this operation to the Berlin airlift, which saved that city from communist aggression. Hope is on the way, Empire City.
Now, see, those news stories will also come up periodically, just like the Voice of Survival will come on periodically. And they are so clearly the opposite of what is going on in the game that it's like hilarious government propaganda. Like that whole, oh, there was a giant relief effort in Archer Square, which was a single crate of canned prunes. And that was like on the scale of the Berlin airlift. You know? Yeah, right. So, but this is where I'm going to leave it, because now we've been introduced to the gameplay, and next time we can do a bunch of missions and we can start to dig into the nuts and bolts of the game and really start talking about what it's doing and why it's doing it. So, thanks everybody for... oh, by the way, just as far as my plan goes, I am going to try and do all the side missions. I am definitely going to try and collect all the dead drops. But I am not going to bother searching out all the little blast cores, because I think there's a... I want to say there's 100... no, there's like 230 possible in the game. And I have 100%ed this game, okay? I have collected all my blast cores. I have done absolutely everything in this game. And I did it very systematically by using... like, when a certain area was cleared out with a side mission... Then I would, you know, use those markings on the map to systematically search the map for every damn blast core, and I got them all. I know that does not make for exciting watching, and we're not going to do that. But I am going to do the different side missions, because the side missions show some, again, really good design choices in the variety of gameplay and in emphasizing the things that the game does well. So, that's it for tonight. Thanks for watching Angry Plays inFamous, the first episode, and I will be back and hope to see you all next week. And, alright, everybody stop shooting me! I'm trying to do an outro here, damn it! That's right. That's right, one shot. Alright. So on that note, good night, everybody get out of my stream so I can go to bed.